Welcome to another tactical video. My name is Captain Morgan and this is Captain Morgan Wargames. If you like what you see, please hit the like, subscribe and share button. Today we're talking about deployment of objectives. This board is set up for a 500 point game with a person that has only played an introductory game at GW shop, and I've offered to give him a game and teach him the basics as we're going through. So, but for this video, this board is fine. Very objective markers, if you can see. Right, so what you've got to think of, why do you need to worry about the objective markers and the placement? Well, personally, it's highly important. It can win or lose you a game, and it can or turn a lopsided game in your favour. So, what are things to think about when you're placing your objectives? Well, first thing is they can't be within 6 inches of any board edge. So that's 12 inches that way, so that's 60 inches of board length you've got to play with, and 36, which is most gun range, medium range gunshots, 36 inches, and you can't be and they've got to be more than 12 inches from the centre of each objective. Now, if you're a gun line, so towel or guard masses of infantry and heavy artillery and tanks, and you're not going to move very far across the board, you're going to want your objective sort of, I'll just measure that just to make sure that that looks about right. Yeah, that's just over 12 inches. That's just over 12 to the centre. So as you can see, if you're a horde army or a slow moving army, you're going to want objectives placed sort of like that, aren't you? And you'll probably want from so something like that. So that to a horde army, slow moving, is an ideal setup. But what about your opponent? Now, what if you're an Elder army playing a horde army, and you've got lots of movement and and your opponent hasn't, so you're going to want to set up, well, you're going to want them, and they're slow moving, you're going to want one sort of there, one over there, you want one in, and then as I said, you're going to want to use sort of something like that. So now, if you see, we've got one here. Now, if you're an Elder, you haven't got many bodies, but you've got speed and abilities to get you these objectives, you're going to want a marker set up like that, and you'll go, as you see as well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, all outline the site or in cover, so that you're well protected. If you do, you don't want them in the open, because that won't suit you. And if you're playing let's say a Necron army, that sort of, without kinetic race, they're the only thing that really have got any movement in the Necron army, you're going to be at an advantage immediately, because you can zip around the board, get objectives and score, while your opponent's trying to trudge along the board and get them. Also, you'll notice there's a bit more than 6 inches away, that one, have to move it, but 6 is about there, should be more than 6 from there, yeah. Also with this, as I said, if you look at it, you've got 2 there, 2 in the centre and 2 outside. You can pretty much, as an allied player, say, well, I haven't got enough board, enough models to cover the whole board, and move forward like that, unlike my opponent. What I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate on that quarter, give myself 4 objective markers, and if I need to get over to the far 2, I will, because I've got the speed to. But a good 30, good 29 inches away from him. He's a good 23 inches away from him. He's a good, that's the closest, 16 inches. The middle, that one is 28 inches. So what you can see is also what you're stopping is, with a horde army, they spread their models out 2 inches apart, boom, across the board. On this one, you've got a 40-man unit. One 40-man unit can hold that. Boom, 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 straight through. And it's going to be very hard to remove them off those 2 markers. Scoring 6 points in an eternal war, 1 point or 2 points depending on whether you got a secure or defended objective, and that makes your game extremely hard. Spread out like this, Maelstrom, you're going to score points easier than your opponent if you get the secure or defend objectives, and also your opponent's going to struggle in return. Now what if you've got, say, Tau against Thousand Suns? They've got some movement, but you're Tau and you're playing against Hordes or Eldar, which are particularly squishy and aren't going to want to get out in the open. You're going to want to have a board like like so. Why would you want a board like that? Well, again, you can get to all the objective markers easily. You can pretty much capture as many as you want, and they're in the open. Now that's the worst thing for Alder. They're going to have to put something out in the open to score from it. And with your shooting and tail shooting and everything, you'll obliterate your opponent very quickly. Now, as an Alder player playing against tail, you're going to want a more conservative board, and you're going to want one somewhere there, one somewhere there, and maybe like that, and for wide apart, and your opponents to be sort of there, and there, because you're going to say, right, I've got the movement to come and capture them off you, but if I don't need to score them, the ones I've got are out of line of sight. Of course, your opponent might decide to go that side. These are things you've got to think. So you're trying, when you're placing your objectives, A, to give yourself an advantage, and B, make your opponent choose the wrong side of the board. If the board's all even, which is board is in terms of terrain and cover and everything, then you're not so doesn't matter so much. But if you had an uneven terrain board where it was terrible what either side you went, then you would be worried. I'm setting up the objectives as if you were playing on a wall, which is because that's the easiest way to do it. If you're doing it Vanguard, of course you'll make adjustments to your objective placement like that, and also depends on the mission. I mean, if you're playing in a competition and it's an ITC, the objective placement doesn't matter. The mission already tells you how to, a map tells you how these objectives are to be laid out, and they're generally tried to be fair with them. But playing a friendly or a non-ITC event where you get to place objectives, this objective placement can win and lose you a game. You've got to take into consideration all the variables. What map am I, what is a mission? Is it a maelstrom or is it, and I have to hold it? And if you hold it, armies like Alder can't hold an objective for 5 turns. So, and are really all about moving and shooting and moving and close combat and and then moving again. And always been agile and dancing in and out of combat one side of the board to the other, sort of drawing your enemy and confusing him as to where he needs to concentrate his fire on. If you're a guard player, you're literally just a slow, relentless advance across the field, and you're slow moving, or Necrons, you're slow moving, and it's a slow, relentless advance, and you're back pounding your enemy as you move across the board. And of course, as I said, if you're out of playing against a Necron army, you're going to want to make your opponent spread his resources as far across the table as you can, whilst concentrating your forces in one small area. So, with that in mind, I'm doing so. With that in mind, your objective placement is critical. I'll go for an example. It's easy. I'm playing against a Idich Bear who's Necron based. Right, so my first thought when we get to objectives, and I'm getting to place the objectives first, which means he's going to choose board sides. My first thing is, right, I'm going to have one here. He's going to go in and say, well, I'll have one here. Me? Well, that's fair enough. I'm going to have one over here. Now I'm looking and thinking, right, that's a nice spread. But where do I want him to go? Looking at my terrain again. Can I funnel him one way where he's going to struggle? Yeah. So my next one will be there, free this side of the board. Him, he's going to think, right, I'm going to want one sort of there. So I've got three in the triangle there. Again, I want him moving, but I also want to keep my thing. So I'm going to go, I'll place one there. Now, I'm saying to him, right, I've got, you can have that side of a board, but if you want points and you need to score points, you're going to have to come across, or you're going to have to spread some of your forces over here. I'm going to make you dilute your units, your strength. I'm not going to allow you to. Be at an advantage against me in this mission. I'm going to make you work for it, work for those points. So, as I said, I'll have one there. The next placed a couple there. I place one there, next place one there, and I place one there. So I spread out reasonably evenly. But for me, I want neck spread across the board, and even with tau, I want them spread out. I don't want units within 6 inches of each other if I can help it, to avoid a greater good on Overwatch. Of course, if I'm playing tau, I'm going to be taking lots of benches, because with an Autarch with a Banshee mask, no Overwatch. And they don't like close combat that much, certain tau. And again, I'm Aldo, I've got, depending what I'm taking, I've got good range. So, with that consideration, I know I've got 24, 36 inch plus most of my range will be 36 onwards if I'm taking a good diverse course. Minimum will be 24 normally, especially if I'm taking bikes. So that side of the board would be ideal, because on Nick's side of the board, I would be wanting him to move about to gain objectives, and he would have to put something over there to think about it, because he might need it, and he'll use race, which are quite fast anyway, but they can with Aldo I've got something to face him. Well, the basics are, you are thinking about how can I make my opponent's life difficult, how can I give myself a slight advantage. What type of army do I have? Do I have a slow army that plods across the board, doesn't have a great deal of movement, but I've got loads of models and I can control the board, and I've got a lot of board control, in which case you want the markers spread within sort of, you're going to look for to get 3 markers like that, sort of within 12 inches of each other's, and you're not going anywhere else. If you're out there, you're going to want your opponent spread out and to have his resources spread as far as you can, because you know you can't outmatch him on board control, and you're going to try and keep him in one area, keep him spread out so he can't control the centre of a board or the area where the objective is, and you can outscore him. And again, it depends what factions you're playing. Do you need line of sight blocking, so the objectives are going behind line of sight blocking or in cover to give you at least a fighting chance? I think that really covers all the objective placing and objectives in this for now. I thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope it's helped. As I said, if you've got something from it, please like, subscribe, and hit the share button. Thank you for watching, Captain Morgan.